Welcome to the Fit to Perform podcast.
You just found the #1 health and fitness podcast for performers. That's right. And you're currently listening to a guest episode, during which we discuss the realities of a career in the performing arts with people who are fit to talk about them.
Yeah, and if you like what we do, please leave us a review, or on Spotify, click that follow button.
Also, if you like our meaningful, helpful, and accurate information, and we want to be maybe coached by us too, then maybe Fit to Perform is for you.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find out more information over on our Instagram or on our website.
Moving on, we have an incredible guest for you today.
Oh boy, do we do. We do. She has the most insane CV.
I actually needed a nap after reading it.
It's bonkers.
I was tired.
It's absolutely bonkers. And I didn't mention this on the podcast, but I've seen her in so many shows. And I remember seeing her like a long time ago in Hairspray. And I remember watching her in Hairspray and going, she is unbelievable.
She must have been really young then, because I'm pretty sure she said she was 21.
Yeah, still 21. Yeah. Yeah, she was unbelievable. And I remember just watching her going, I think you're incredible.
She is amazing.
She's incredible. And like every time I've worked with her now twice, and she's incredible. She was incredible in both those shows.
We never got to speak to her about like comedy and going into like funny stuff, because she's naturally very funny, but she's also hilarious on stage when she wants to be.
She's hilarious on stage. Yeah, and she's done like in Mrs. Doubtfire, she was so funny.
And realistically ran out of time.
Yeah, we did. We actually did. Like that flew by.
I was like, God, I would love to dig into that a little more. But tell the audience some more things
let me tell you
we have seen her in.
More things we've seen her in. She was in Witches of Eastwick, Chorus Line, Hairspray,
Palladium,
You're in Town.
No doubt. You're in Town.
She was in You're in Town.
Yes.
Groundhog Day.
Yes.
The original version. Cats Cypress.
Cats comes up.
Cats comes up. Matilda, Heathers, Dolly Parton's Smoky Mountain Christmas Carol, Face in the Crowd.
You mentioned Doubtfire, didn't you?
Yeah, Palladium Panto.
Yes.
She's just finished. She has worked and worked and worked and worked.
Yeah, none of those shows are ones that anyone would ever hear of. Nothing. Yeah, so many. And what a joyous human being.
Just incredible.
As well. We had a lovely, 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 wonderful time, and we hope that you do too. Please enjoy the vivaciously vibrant Vicki Lee Taylor. It's fit to talk. So, in order to actually kick this off, we should apologise, first of all, for the absolute drama you've had since arriving here in our lack of preparedness.
We've made it easy, haven't we?
Swiftly move on.
Okay.
During the episode,
yes,
we ask all our guests, when we remember, to try and tell us a lie.
Oh, yes.
At some point during.
This is causing me a lot of stress.
Well, I feel like this causes a lot of guests a lot of stress.
Yeah, I'm quite glad we don't have to do it, because it would cause me stress as well.
It just seems so silly, because it's basically my career is telling lies, you know, pretending things.
Yes.
And yet, the idea of telling a lie, I'll probably do like a comedy wink as I do it, or go, "Ba-dum-tsh," and then you'll know. But I'm going to try really, really hard.
Fantastic. Okay. I'm here for that. And if anyone's listening to their first episode, we will actually find out what the lie is at the end, or if you manage to successfully lie or not. Yes. So no one should be leaving this thinking that somehow something bizarre is very, very true. And we should preface that there is some bizarre sound effects coming behind us.
It's not me.
It's not Vicki.
It's not a phone on vibrate really, really loud.
It's not me pressing random buttons to make sounds, hopefully.
Which used to happen.
Which used to happen. It's a drill.
Or a new form of yoga.
Yes.
It's like the sound bath that we had at Face in the Crowd.
We're in that place. So with that in mind, I'm just going to skip over that. We'll cut that.
No, we won't.
No, we'll get to the sound bath. In fact, you mentioned that in something the other day. Anyway, moving back to you and your life, how does the story of your life begin?
Dum, 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 dum.
Yes!
Do you remember
Great
This Is Your
reference.
Life?
Yes.
Oh, that was kind of like a major goal as a child, to somehow... At
With the
some
book.
point,
get the red book.
Beyond that, and it's not there anymore. Anyway, sorry. Hello. Right. The story
the tangents are welcome, just so you know.
I'm so
love a
sorry.
tangent.
Listen, it's going to happen a lot.
We should.
So the story of my life. Grew up in Grimsby.
Yes.
Wonderful Grimsby. Started dancing was kind of the main thing to begin with. So I think I began at about the age of 3. Mum took me along to a local dance school, mainly because Now, listen, my memory's terrible. I can't remember what happened last week. So this is all very blurry. But I think sort of the thing was I was constantly dancing at home and doing that thing that kids do where, you lean onto a sofa and you sort of lift one leg and you go, look, Mum, look what I'm doing. Look, take a picture. Which is what This is basically what my child does now. So off I went to a local dance school, and I also went to a local theatre group. I don't think they were supposed to take kids before the age of 4, but off I went. And it all sort of snowballed, if you like, from there. What happened next? Gosh. What's interesting? Yes.
In fact, let's help you out a little bit.
Please do.
I had on my little list, grew up or was born in Grimsby, Lincolnshire. I know Grimsby a little bit.
Do you?
Yes. What was that like?
It was a long time ago. I tell you what, cracking fish and chips. And it really does, it just sets the bar for the rest of your life. You go everywhere and you go, it's just not as good as home.
London fish and chips tend to suck.
God, it sucks and it's so expensive.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a nightmare.
It really
God,
is.
we've got to that point where fish now. Oh,
the cost of fish these days.
Oh, not the cost of fish in the first minute. That is not... No,
this
come
is
on
exactly
now.
the podcast you wanted. Come on now.
This is not where I thought it was going to go.
£11?
Not in Grimsby, though, I bet. Yes, no, Grimsby, wonderful. I don't get back there very often. My mum is still there. Yes, really, really lovely, really nice, but moved down to London when I was 12. That was when I started working. Mum used to get the stage newspaper, which is still a thing, but very much you went to auditions. There was always the audition section in the back. That was a big thing. And, my mum was a single parent. She did absolutely everything she possibly could, gave me every opportunity. I was that kid at the end of a class that she had to drag me out rather than the kids who were like, I just want to go home. I've got some very funny footage of me doing dance festivals and my mum having to, you see a hand come out of the wing and grab me and pull me off stage because I'm playing up so much. So it was definitely in me. So there were dance festivals, there were talent competitions. That was a big thing on the Northern Circuit. We'd go to Mablethorpe and Skegness and we'd do these talent competitions. And I'd sing mildly inappropriate songs now, looking back. But
it's always the way, right?
Same,
yeah.
Same, don't worry.
When you think about it, working men's clubs, I got 10 quid, yeah. So
singing
yes, it was...
Bring on the Men from Jekyll and Hyde. You're like, no.
No,
what do you like? I used to sing If They Could See Me Now. And what's the song? It's Oh So Quiet, in a slightly manic way. And I think at this point I was probably about 10, wearing knee-high socks. They were probably pretty scared. But it all kind of, my mum was just doing everything she could. The dance festivals became further afield. And so, the stage newspaper, but there was no real outlet, no real idea. And of course, no social media, no internet, nothing like that. So it was her finding a way of, okay, clearly she wants to do this. How do I make it work? So off we went to an open audition. I was 12. We came down on the train. We went to the King's Head Theatre in Islington, which is still there now. It's slightly different. It was Dan Crawford who ran it back then. It was a little fringe theatre. It was in a pub. And we walked in and there's all these other kids there, all these stage school kids in their, their sort of uniforms and bun and all of that. Oh, crikey, what are we doing here? And I think I must have had to sing a song or something. And we thought, this is an experience. We'll just come down. We'll maybe go and see a show after. Wow, this is London. We've probably been down to London a handful of times to see West End shows. And it was this whole other place. And I was in there all day with all these other kids doing these scenes and these songs. And it was just this incredible world. And Dan Crawford brought me out at the end of the day under his arm. And at that point, I was 12 years old and said to my mum, right, well, we wanted to be in the Famous Five musical on tour, but we also wanted to start next week in a show called Listen to the Wind. And my mum said, well, no, she can't because she's going to be a dancer in the Grimsby pantomime.
Yeah.
I said, oh, but my dear, this is London, And she sort of said, well, where? And there I was thinking, oh, I've made it. I'm going to be in the West End. I'm 12 years old. I can imagine it. This massive theatre. No, it was there at the pub theatre in this little teeny tiny room at the back of a pub with open fires and this dripping ceiling. And I did my first show and that was that. And so I was sort of moved down to London. I stayed with another child that was in the show. Never been away from home before, no mobile phone, and it was literally thrown into it. in this teeny tiny little room we were rehearsing. We were all paid absolute pennies. And I think the kids were on the same as the adults. So, not great. But it was the most incredible experience. And I was terribly homesick. And my mum, bless her, awful, getting occasional phone calls. Hello, that's the...
Hopefully it's out in the
it's not me.
It's not being picked up.
No, my mum getting these sort of phone calls from me in absolute tears, not knowing whether she'd done the right thing or not. But we had the most incredible experience. And Paula Wilcox was in the show, who was amazing. We worked with Phil George, who's an incredible choreographer, Michael Levine, who was an amazing American musical director. And we ended up recording the soundtrack of this show, Listen to the Wind, at Abbey Road Studios, which, again, at the age of 12, I was just like...
start at the low point and then build from there. But
I think being that age, I just completely took it in my stride, because it was like, wow, this is all happening. This is cool. We had an amazing cast. We had Cameron Blakely, who's I've worked with again since. Incredible people, just incredible people. So, yeah, that was like my first experience. And then we went off and did the Famous Five on tour, which that was a whole new experience as a child. Going back to school, going back out on tour, learning from all these other kids. There were 3 sets of kids, and ultimately they'd wanted me to play Anne because I'd got this long blonde hair, and I was adamant, no, I wanted to play George because that was a bigger part, and she had a song. Yeah. And so they were like, oh, okay, that's not what we saw, but okay, you're going to have to cut all your hair off then. I was like, okay, I'll do it. Anyway, they did end up getting me a wig, which was pretty horrendous in the nicest possible way. It was this short brown situation, and I had a dog in the show, and I just remember I had to sing this gorgeous, gorgeous song to a dog, and I had to do the whole thing with sausage in my pocket so that the dog actually listened to me, which again, looking back, I think, at the age of 12, singing to a dog with sausage in my pocket. That should be the name of my autobiography. Should I ever write one?
But it's also amazing that was all just taken in your stride. Now as an adult, you'd be like, this is insane. And it's never going to work.
But that's the beauty of being a child as well. I mean, I see it now in my little girl. It's wonderful, that time spent where you've got no inhibitions. You just throw yourself into things. You also don't really think about, probably kids do more, but back then you didn't really think about the safety and things like that, Yeah.
I was going to say, you said you went to stay with one of the other kids. I'm assuming there was a chaperone. It wasn't like another 12-year-old. Like, come live with me.
No, can you imagine? We all just lived in a house together. Woo!
Like Richie Rich situation.
Yeah, can you imagine? No. It was with her parent, because she lived down in London and she'd already done TV. She was this experienced child actor, and I was just this kid from Grimsby. But, yeah.
So what was it like then when you actually ended up? Did you go back to Grimsby? Obviously back to school when you were done with some of these things?
At first, obviously, came down, but then when you're on tour, you go away for a week, then you go back to school for 2 weeks. And it's that weird thing at school, isn't it? You do whatever you can to survive. I was very lucky in that I didn't really get bullied, which is quite a common thing for performers. If you're slightly different, if you do something a little bit out of the norm, and also if you're seen as a bit of a show-off, that can often lead to bullying. Actually, not just from the kids, but from the teachers as well, because they don't always know how to deal with it or how to handle it. The teachers at my school, because by this point I was in senior school, my headmaster, Mr. Cormack, I remember, was so incredibly supportive. And again, it was quite unusual for a girl from Grimsby to be doing that. A lot of kids work now, and especially down in London. But up there, it was pretty unheard of. And he just sort of said, if this is something, you go. And some of the teachers would set me work, and some of them would just be quite dismissive of it. And I remember trying to do work when I was on tour of if we'd go to a certain place, I'd study the local cathedral, or I'd try and put in that extra graft and get back to school, and the teacher would be like, well, this isn't in the national curriculum, so it's not really very helpful. Thank you. But yes, I did do everything I could to fit in, and actually the kids in general were pretty nice about it. And I think that was really the start of my sense of humour, if you like, because if you're the class clown a little bit, people leave you alone. I was a pretty funky-looking kid, still am, so I was never massively popular, but I seemed to sort of manage to navigate that whole world situation, if you like.
I do think it's nuts. I had a similar thing when I was touring when I was a child, and they'd just be like, some teachers would be like, oh yeah, carry out some of this work, and others would be like, okay.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it?
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
Like, how is this okay?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy doing that, or were you obviously you were capable enough of doing that work solo?
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, it made school more exciting and interesting, and I actually loved school. I loved school dinners. I miss school dinners. Do you remember?
I do. I think we had a different school.
Do you remember? Were we all not at school together?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Do you remember
fine.
school dinners?
Why were yours so good?
I don't know. I just remember sponge and custard and,
Yeah, that is
all those
very
things.
school dinner.
That was good, but they always had like really aggressive peas, like an aggressive pea situation.
I love a pea. I only found
peas are
out
great.
recently that they're full of protein. Who knew?
I mean,
Are
full
they?
of is
Hang
an
on, are you not gonna
exaggeration.
I mean,
No, don't ruin it for me. Come on.
But there is protein in
Please.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
All
they
right.
make pea protein powders
Yeah.
for stuff
See?
for vegans.
full of is
Hey,
stretch.
hey now with the head tilt. I saw that.
You would need to be consuming quite a lot of pea
Yeah.
to be getting your
My
protein
skin is
intake.
green. I mean, it's happening.
In fact,
I am
it
full
might be a
pea.
challenge. We did come up with a challenge a while ago to be like, I wonder if you could eat, like, to get your protein from broccoli in a day.
Oh yeah, we did have that.
Because technically there's some in there, but it was
It's
it was
a lot
actually-
of broccoli.
You would have been very ill.
And farty.
worth-
Sorry.
yeah, it's worth
that
a challenge.
yeah.
Anything, that
Anyway.
amount of volume of anything would
Yeah.
be real unpleasant.
But
So-
peas are great. When you say aggressive peas, what do you mean?
You know when you used to get like really cheap?
Oh, the big ones.
Yeah, the
they're
giant,
not that
like
big.
insipid giant
like
pea.
an apple-sized pea.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it would be like the size of a date, maybe. And they might. It was
Wow.
and they were not well cooked.
Where did you go to school?
For some reason, I just wanted to make a joke.
We've got your
where,
dinner
like,
lady here now. She's going to come in. Yeah,
Oh,
surprise.
hello! I don't know your name. I can't remember any of the names.
No, I need to-
Well, it was in Penarth and then eventually Cardiff. So
Wait, you're Welsh?
I am.
I do not hear that in your
secretly
accent.
Welsh now.
Oh, okay.
It's because I spoke Welsh, so my accent changed over time. But
Wow.
that's something we've gone into great detail in with
Oh, have
on the
you?
podcast.
Oh, sorry. So we won't do that.
We're just retreading old ground here,
I'm
Vicky.
sorry.
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no, not at
Keep
all.
it fresh.
Yes,
Keep it
Steffan,
fresh.
you're Welsh. We get it.
In fact, I now have a little flag on the back of my bag, which is like the tiny amount of Welsh pride I've kind of allowed myself. And the number of people are like, are you Welsh? In fact, I was in a shop the other day in Westfield. And
Why would you have it if you weren't?
just
Well,
be
that's
a
a good
man.
question.
Are you
but it's like
Welsh?
a conversation starter. And somebody in the shop who worked in the shop came up and had come over and was like, are you from Wales? And was clearly Welsh themselves. And I was like, yes. And then just proceeded to have like a 5-minute conversation with me and then was like, have a great day.
Well, that's really
That's
nice.
nice.
I was like,
I like
oh.
that.
They also stole your wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't piece the two things together, but that did happen.
Yeah. Your identity is gone.
A lot of fraud happened after that point, and now you say it.
Yeah, it all makes sense.
It's coming back to me now. So from that point, you went.
Sorry, yeah,
at
school was
12,
good. There
You
we
were
go.
like, great, love school,
Yeah.
love the whole business thing. Were you like, this is what I want to do now?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And whilst I was at the King's Head Theatre, knowing that I was then going to be going on a theatre tour, Paula Wilcox, who was in the show at the time, was also in a kids' TV show called The Queen's Nose.
Oh my
And
god!
so
Yes.
the producers came to see the show and said, she'd be great in the next series. So
And you were like, yes, I would.
off I went
You're correct.
to this incredible office with this script and this meeting and was pretty much offered this role. And so in my sort of 12, I turned 13 as we were filming The Queen's Note. So I went off and did that. And I thought, God, this is great. This is really easy.
Did I will have watched you in that. That's,
Possibly. I don't look too dissimilar now, sadly.
I've seen you in a whole bunch of stuff. We'll get to that later on. But
Wait.
like that's insane. I watched like all of that series. So I imagine when I was a kid, little me was watching you living the dream.
Quite possibly, yeah. And they even managed to sandwich in my dancing. So at one point, I was tap dancing in a department store, which, again, looking back now, I go, wow, that was a moment. But yes, we did one series. I was Harmony's cousin, so I played Dino, which, again, was the most incredible experience. I'd had no experience on camera. I had no idea how that world worked. I'd done no training. And I learnt on the job, and it was incredible. It was amazing. But in my head, I thought, this is how it works. You know, you do a job, you get offered another job.
Yeah.
What actually happened was I eventually signed with an agent. This had all been without an agent. And I didn't do anything for 2 years because I was at that age when you're 13, you're not really cute anymore. You're not quite grown. You know, you're kind of in this funny sort of no man's land. And so every now and again, down we'd come to London to do an audition. I wouldn't get it. Oh, this is rubbish. This is horrible. I'm getting no all the time.
The reality.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a very quick sort of drop back down to reality. So carried on with school. Nothing really happened. And then I landed the lead role in a children's television series called Big Meg, Little Meg at Granada, Manchester, as it was then, off Key Street, which was filmed right where Coronation Street was filmed, and this incredible experience. It was all about body swapping, a mother and a daughter. We did 2 series. We had the best time. It was incredible. Again, an incredible team of people that we worked with. The director, Sylvie Bowden, was amazing and had done all this incredible stuff. So again, that kind of threw me back into it again. I was like, I want to do this, So when you have those moments when you're not doing it, you go, no, this is definitely what I want to do. There is nothing else. And I think it's really foolish to stay in the industry if there is something else that is calling you, because so much of it is rejection and not quite knowing why, and doesn't always pay well. And sometimes there's breaks and in between, and, there's so many hard bits that unless you really, really want to do it, you have to do it, you love to do it, then
what's the point?
Find something.
Like,
and that is where it ends. Thank you so much. Goodbye. What is the point?
I think it's a great show. I think it's actually always really, really refreshing when I hear people say that. It's something we say really openly on the podcast and to each other as well. You're like, people don't realize they'll aim for these jobs and they'll be like, oh, this is this XYZ show on the West End. And you're like, maybe you did that show and you're like, yeah, I had a horrible time for like 12 months or 14 months and it was miserable. And yet, there's 60,000 people who would kill for that opportunity and to be there in that position. You're like, it's okay to go, oh, that wasn't for me. And actually maybe this isn't for me because of XYZ reasons too. I think that's more common than you, especially now.
I think certainly at the age, certainly at the age that I'm at now, I've got quite a few friends that have made that decision to go, no, that's it now, I'm done. I'm okay with that. I've got this stuff on my CV. I'm ready to have a change. I'm ready to take it in a different direction. Maybe it's connected to work drying up, maybe it's not, but to actually make that choice and go, I'm done, and that's okay. I think it's much braver than carrying on and slogging and it making you unhappy or feel things or question your value and all those things that it can do. To actually make that choice to step away from it, I think is hugely powerful.
Did you find that COVID kind of accelerated that for some of your friends?
Yeah, it was wild, wasn't it? It really was. And actually, quite a lot of people, I think, did go down, find a completely new career path. But then again, maybe it opened doors to things that, had they not stopped searching and desperately watching the phone and looking for auditions, and maybe they wouldn't have had the opportunity to do that. That's not for 1 second me suggesting that COVID was a good thing, because I know there were plenty of
find a silver lining.
Plenty of bad things about it. Hey, my silver lining was Bobby's Bakery.
Yeah.
Oh my word. That was like the highlight. Bakery. The highlight. It was excellent.
It was a wild time.
It was so amazing.
That feels like a blur to me, the bakery.
I don't think you have any idea how much you helped people. I mean, like, off the scale, it just saved so many people.
It saved me as well.
Yeah. It's just having that purpose.
It was so nice to have that purpose, to have a reason to get up in the morning when there's no reason for anything at that point. Like to have that reason to get up and go, okay, well, there's like a few hundred of us are going to get together and we're going to have to do this stupid workout with some bakery puns and a French bulldog that just wanders across, and like we'll have some fun together. And it was just nice to connect with people in that moment. It
was incredible.
Yeah. Sometimes random people will come up on the street that Bobby doesn't know and say,
"Oh God,
you did the bakery, right?" And they'll say similar things. It's super nice.
And then I'm super awkward, and that's kind of how it rolls.
You don't handle it well.
I don't handle it well. I can't handle those things well at all.
You should just curtsy and say, "You're welcome,"
and back away,
and then leave, and then moonwalk backwards.
And go, I still have some merch if you would like to pass.
Well, the bakery sort of lives on in the current coaching format.
It does.
In its own weird way.
It's still there.
It lives.
It lives
on.
The croissants will revive.
It lives.
Yes. Were you about to sing like "He Lives in You"?
Yeah, I was.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just bubbling under. I was like,
but you didn't commit.
No, I didn't commit. No.
Next time.
Yeah.
There'll be time. There's time in the episode.
Would you like me to commit later on in the episode
yes,
to sing
at some point. He Lives in You.
Fine.
And I'll do an expressive dance.
Perfect.
As well.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
To You're Welcome from Moana.
No. Still this song.
Still to that.
Still
at
my
the same
song.
time.
Yeah.
So we'll need like a little eye look to one another to know that it's coming.
It's happening, and then
we'll
the headphones
have
are
this.
off, and
And I'll applaud.
Let's
Great.
go. Yeah,
appropriately.
Wonderful.
That will be the clip that goes on social media.
When that
for
happens.
sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't bring my tap shoes though, sadly.
We'll add the tap in later.
Oh, great. Lovely. You can do that?
We can do that in post. Wow. It's fine.
Yeah, just send us a video. I've got a quote here that is...
Who from?
Well, actually, you'll know who it's from. It says, like a younger version of Shirley MacLaine, she has a radiant voice, dances effortlessly.
My knee just cracked.
And acts superbly. The irony of your knee cracking.
I know. How embarrassing.
A younger version of a...
This was said a while ago.
And who was it by? It was Mark Shenton, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, what a compliment to get in a review.
I know, isn't that nice?
What was that from? What was it of?
Don't ask me questions like that. I think it was when I did On a Clear Day You Can See Forever at the Union Theatre, which was another one of those moments that you go, this is great, and I wish I could go back to that time, because at the time I was just finishing in a chorus line at the Palladium, playing Maggie, and I was offered this job at the Union Theatre, which is a fringe theatre, no pay, low pay, all of that. But the role itself was so fantastic. And I just looked at the breakdown and the script and thought, I think I can do this. It was Kirk Jameson directing, who was absolutely brilliant and supported me. So I was doubling up. I was doing chorus line in the evening, doing these rehearsals for the show in the daytime. Woof. And sadly, because it was so overwhelming, sort of playing this lead role in this teeny tiny little show, I didn't really get to open myself out, if you like, to the rest of the company. So I didn't really get to sort of fully sit in the role, if that makes sense. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I wish it could have gone on longer. We just had a brilliant time. I got nominated for an Offie. Woo!
Yes.
And it was, it was great. It was the dream of a role, in that it was quite quirky. The singing was lovely. There was a little bit of movement in there. And then, toddling off to play Maggie in a chorus line in the evening. I couldn't have asked for anything more, really. It was great.
Is another of the shows on your CV that I saw you in. When we were doing our due diligence and our research on you, I had to take a little moment. I was overwhelmed by the sheer number of things on the CV. I was like,
I'm only 21 as well. Isn't it amazing? I don't know.
The last 3 years have been rampant. And I was like, I can't... the number of those shows that I have seen you in as well was bizarre, actually. Because we've had a bunch of lovely, wonderful guests with lots of impressively long CVs and stuff, but actually yours is just filled with shows I have actually watched you in specifically.
Well, that proves that it's real. The CV does tell the truth.
Unless I was going, I don't remember her in this at all.
I can imagine.
She
was not in that.
Sure she was in that.
She doesn't look familiar. Yes, and I saw you in a chorus line. How was it?
Oh, that was amazing. It was absolutely incredible. I feel like I'm saying that about everything, but I've been very lucky, actually, to not really have any particularly bad experiences or bad companies, because that's what it's about. It's about the people that you're sharing the experience with. It's about the creative team. It's about the management that are looking after you, your company manager, all those things. But that was an American team, the American team, Bayok Lee, coming over and putting their show in our hands. And so even just from the audition process, and again, auditions are so hard. They don't get any easier. I'm sorry to tell you this, guys. And also, if anything, they get worse. I don't know. My nerves are through the roof these days. I just, you think you must get to a point where you don't care anymore, but you really do. But even that audition process, it sounds really, I was going to say wanky. I apologise. It sounds a bit full of myself, but I felt in that audition process that they were behind me. And there was a wonderful chap, Michael. I can't remember his surname, but he was part of he was Bayok's assistant. And just that look in his eye was like, come on, you've got this. And it just that feeling of support. And you can have confidence in yourself as much as you like, but if you just feel like there's somebody there in the room that's rooting for you. And we did all the dance rounds. They'd held massive open auditions as well, that they'd shown all this footage of girls and boys queuing around the corner, all these big dance calls. Thankfully, at the time, I was actually a fitness instructor myself. And again, this is proving the point of the industry having peaks and troughs, because at that point, I don't think I'd worked for a year, 2 years. I'd had a really barren patch of work, to the point of my then agent pretty much said to me, we're out of ideas a bit. You might want to go back and retrain, or you might want to look at a different agency. Really felt pretty rubbish. I'd done my qualification to teach fitness, because that was going to be my plan B, my other thing that I wanted to do. I loved it. I was teaching 7 classes a day, all these different classes. So I was physically fit, which was great. My voice was shot.
Yeah.
From
the truth of being a fitness instructor.
Exactly that.
Guys,
all the screaming. Yes.
2, 1.
But, so that was a negative. But the positive was I was physically quite fit. So for that chorus line, for that dance break, I was okay. And in the audition, I remember even sort of first few rounds, they were getting us to do it again and again and again to test our stamina. Anyway, we get to sort of the final that's at the Palladium. I mean, you couldn't get it more stagey. So you're standing there on the Palladium stage singing.
Essentially, the concept of the show just being enacted.
And we did. And we had to do this opening number on the stage. And we're all sitting in the wings in our leotards because we had to wear a leotard. And I came to sing at the ballet and I absolutely bodged. I was so nervous to the point of the wonderful musical supervisor came up on stage and said, shake it off, let it go, wiggle your toes if you're nervous, wiggle your fingers, and I just couldn't shake off these nerves. And I ruined it. And I walked out and I thought, well, that's it, I've blown that. And then a couple of days later, I was at home in my pajamas and I got a call from my agent and said, how quickly can you get to Pineapple? I went, what?
I'm there.
They want you to come back in. I was like, okay, great. In Pineapple, and I just thought, come on, you've been given a second chance here. That certainly never happened to me before. And I sang it and I was comfortable and I was happy with how I sang it. And the casting director, David Grinrod, escorted me out. And then once he closed the door, he just gave me a thumbs up. And I just thought, oh, I think I might have got this. I think that actually might have happened. But I'm telling that story because it really doesn't very often happen like that. And you can very often talk yourself into the fact of, they don't want to take me. They don't think I'm good enough. They're not for me. They're looking at their mobile phone. They're writing a cross on their list, But
why is that everybody's experience? Yes. 2 of the panel are on their phone, and I'm mid-song.
I've had it before where they're giving out a coffee order whilst I'm singing. And you're kind of going, shall I just not be here? But throughout that whole process, I just felt like it was just going to happen. It was really very theatrical, I suppose. But the process was amazing. We did boot camp, Biox boot camp every morning. We had a drummer there. And then 4 days into rehearsals, I twisted my ankle. And it was, again, like a scene from a chorus line towards the end when somebody hurts themselves. We were doing the ballet combination from the corner again, in heels. And I did a big, I don't know my terminology, but a big sort of a big jump in the air. Came down with my ankle, laid on the floor dramatically. Biox screamed. Lee Zimmerman came over, our fantastic Sheila, and said, here, take these. And she gave me these tablets, and somebody scooped me up off the floor. I mean, it was so dramatic. Anyway, I'd sprained my ankle, so I was out of rehearsals for, I can't remember how long.
And the tablets were ecstasy.
And the tablets were fantastic. No, they were some sort of American painkiller. I don't know, but they were great. So then I was, oh no, I'm not going to be able to do it. But it was fine by the time we opened. But
terrifying.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh god,
in that moment, just pure fear.
Yeah.
I love that you mentioned that. So you're a fitness instructor at the time, so your fitness is super high. But you were, in rehearsal process, you're still going into this absolutely mammoth beast of a show, and then still the volume is too much to the point where you end up with an injury at that point. I don't think people quite understand the physical demands of when you do a show like that frequently.
Yeah.
And, chorus line, that dance is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
And then you also have Cypress Cats on there.
That was a quick shift.
Speaking of physical roles,
a great shift.
We'll come back to chorus line, I'm sure. But yeah, you work together, right?
We did.
Yeah, we've worked together twice now.
Oh yeah, so Facing the Crowd,
yeah.
which I also saw.
You did not see Cypress Cats.
I did not see Cypress Cats.
That's a shame. You weren't there?
I wasn't there in Cyprus for Cypress Cats. But can you just give us a little rundown of what Cypress Cats was?
I like the fact that you're calling it Cypress Cats.
I've really committed to that today.
You weren't playing Cypriot Cats, just to be clear. It was a production
just
of
roaming the streets.
Cats the Musical, performed in Cyprus. Yeah. That was excellent. Again, a really super, super bunch of people. But I think probably the first job I did where I really realised my age. Because I was sort of surrounded by these fantastic, so talented 20-year-olds. And as I get older, I find myself sort of observing more and the way people interact, the way they behave, and what I love about the new generation is their confidence. And it's so wonderful to see. And I mean that completely as a positive, because even when I take myself off to do class and things like that, learning the choreography, no one's apologising for being there anymore. Everyone's sort of seems a lot more comfortable in themselves. And I think that's physically, I don't feel like there's as much body shaming as there was when I was starting out. Everyone's kind of there to do their thing. in what they've been given, and give it their all. And I found it so inspiring to see the younger generation coming through and having that confidence, because a lot of the production that we did, it was commercial choreographers, and I'm not going to remember their name now because I'm a terrible person.
I do call it hip
Sam
hop.
and maybe
Sam is definitely one of them.
Sam and
I can't remember their
know them.
names.
I
It's
don't
going to annoy
I can't
me.
remember their names. I can't remember my own name at the best of times.
Well, exactly.
So,
We can blame being parents.
yeah,
That's
that's the fog.
We've still got baby
excuse?
brain. That's really going to annoy me. Anyway, this fantastic sort of commercial. I mean, the music for Cats, I still say, it's just the most beautiful music, and it still gives me goosebumps if I listen to it. Call me stagey if you like. So doing this sort of very different alternative choreography was fantastic, but a lot of it was us finding bits ourselves and using our bodies, and coming from a background of not training, sometimes that can make me go, I don't know what to do. I can't do it. I don't know what's happening. But it really was you've just got to throw yourself into it, and you've got to not care too much about what you look like, even though there's mirrors at the front of the studio, and you go, oh, that's me. That's ridiculous. I'm still trying to think of their names. So yeah, it was a fantastic experience, and I played Jelly Loram. I always forget, but Bobby was our McCavity, and he was absolutely fantastic. And the thing that we will forever remember is the big McCavity reveal where the hood is pulled off to reveal it's McCavity.
Oh no!
And we took off the wig as well. So there he was.
They ripped that wig.
Wig prep.
My double wig.
It's double
I
wig.
had 2 wigs on.
So that's why it would have come off, because you would have grabbed the one that only had like 4 pins in it.
Yep.
But that then pulled the other.
Vicky pulled them off. I was running around in a wig cap. Didn't quite realise I was running around in a wig cap.
But that's good. That's good, because I was like, God, he's still really going for it. There's no fear there.
I didn't realise until I saw people laughing at me that I was like, something's amiss here.
Oh no!
You're like, I don't know what it.
I'm
Anything
in my
with a
wig
double
cap.
wig. Like, there's that wormwood bit in Matilda that's the same as a double wig, and you can't feel it. Like you don't know. Like it gets taken off, and then you're like, well, you actually do it in that, and then you're like, I don't know if people are looking at me like, because in fact in Matilda they're meant to be looking at the hair going, oh my God, it's
I know
green.
what you're talking about, yes.
But it's the exact same response to you've taken your wig prep off. So it happens and you're like, oh my God.
Oh, God.
That's a really good metaphor for the vulnerability of performance, actually.
Look at that. Look at
just
that.
take off that layer and you've just got to be there.
I'm just going to get on my imaginary Segway and just ride between these. This is just glorious. Was Grant Murphy?
He was the director.
Yes, he was our director.
Yeah.
Come on, tell me who choreographed it.
You didn't put it on your CV.
Oh God, I'm a horrible person.
You put Grant Murphy, and then you put the I'm not going to pronounce that.
Because they have beautifully talented children as well.
They do, yeah.
Who came in, Melody, I do remember her name.
Melody did that.
She came in and
workshop
taught us some breakdancing, which I did not really participate in. I stood at the sides going, yeah, that's really great, guys. You're doing so good. I was sort of the enthusiasm at the side.
I just remember being the old man at the back who tried.
Oh, we tried really hard.
Failed. Like,
You've got to give everything a go, within reason.
We gave everything a go. I really hurt myself in that.
I want to get back to the physical elements you mentioned, but what track were you in Matilda? Because you covered Miss Honey, Mrs. Wormwood, Mrs. Phelps, right?
Do you know what? That's probably one of the best shows when it comes to covering, because as an ensemble member, I was first cover Mrs. Wormwood and second cover Miss Honey. So
I know which track you were.
Yeah, it's such a, and then there's somebody else that does the opposite. So first Honey, second, who was Bianca when I did it. And you're always going to get on for both parts. So you've got these two fantastic polar opposite characters, and you're going to get to play both of them. I mean, it's an absolute joy. Then you've got the fantastic ensemble track that includes, spoiler alert, the swings and everything else. So. It was a gift of a job. I really enjoyed that.
I saw it when you were in it. Whether you were on or not is neither here nor there. Because I did the tour that was happening immediately at that point.
That's right. Yeah,
we were rehearsing. Came to see you in that. Not specifically to see you, because that would be
I'm
weird.
Not being afraid.
As we'd never met.
Yeah.
She'll never leave. But just to jump back to that, so the reason I mentioned Hip Hop Cats, or Cypress Cats as I'm now calling it, is, when we look at this, even that track in Matilda involves some pretty hefty dancing.
Yeah.
And people don't think that about Matilda, and then you watch Loud and you go, oh, yeah, actually that's hard.
Yeah.
That's really, really full out and difficult. And actually, looking at your CV, there's a bunch of stuff in there that is physically really, really difficult to do.
I just do lots of face.
Give it face.
Yeah, just give it loads of face.
Keep your legs moving.
No one's going to see.
Always sell it with the face.
But in which case, like you said, you became a fitness instructor at some point. But how do you keep yourself able to actually deliver that kind of stuff through those types of shows?
Yeah, and each show is so different, what it asks of you as well. And there's always that point, certainly for me, I can't talk for anybody else, where you kind of think, can I do this? Will I be able to do this? I remember when we were first being taught the choreography for Loud, and you'd get to the end and you'd have to lay on the floor. Because it's so fast, it's so slick, it's Ellen Kane, it's and it's got to be exactly a certain way. So I don't know if I can. And then you find yourself doing it 8 times a week.
And you're okay.
Hopefully you're okay. Well, people are still coming and paying money, so fingers crossed it's all right. Haven't been fired yet. So, yeah,
there's still time.
There's still time. It's bizarre what muscle memory can do, and actually what we're capable of. I'm definitely a huge advocate for still going to class. I took myself off to the Manor London George Lyons class last week just to check I could still do it. I just about could. I've always been a bit of a gym goer, not in a massive way, as you can tell, but I've always enjoyed fitness. I think from a physical perspective, but also from a mental perspective, it's so good for your mental health, just to get up, get out there. But, and again, coming from that background of not necessarily doing the training, I went to a local dance school, but I didn't go to college. So I've always taken myself off to Pineapple, to these places. And I know a lot of people kind of go, I can't imagine going to class now. Oh, it'd be horrible. Oh, it'd be awful. And I know that for a lot of people, it is the walking through the door of these places, and they can still seem like scary places. But I keep my head down. I stand at the back. I enjoy it. I do it because I enjoy it. I'm not there to impress anybody. I'm not there to show off. I'm not there for somebody to take a video or whatever. It's making sure that you're keeping your body moving, because I don't think if I didn't do stuff in between the jobs, I don't think I'd be able to do it. For me personally, I know people that do. I know people that, sit and watch Netflix between jobs and eat food and do those things, and they can still pick it up, and good for them. But
the first time I joined a company from America coming over, and all the performers were American coming to here, and then I joined them. They and a couple of us did, and they were asking about this, about the attitude around going to class. They were like, in their experience in London, they were like, actors don't seem to go to acting class or to dance class anymore, or get like singing lessons. They were like, why is that? Like, we would do that like every week. That's like what your job is.
I mean, hey, these things are expensive as well. That's the other thing. I think
one element.
For me at the time,
between jobs,
it was that. I was like, I can't afford to. The singing lesson was real pricey. At the time, I won't out my previous singing teacher for being very expensive, but people know. And yet you're like, oh God, that actually is the point. Like, how do you expect to even get a job unless you're still working on your craft? But then there's no support here, is there, to help us?
No, and again, I think there is a little element of self-discipline there. I mean, you say about singing lessons, but there's nothing stopping you doing a vocal warm-up every day. There's nothing stopping you having a stretch at home every day, which I'm sure a lot of people, do that. But yeah, you kind of have to see your body as what you're selling. It's your product. It's what's getting you the jobs. So you do have to keep yourself going.
And to keep learning as well, I think is super
absolutely.
important. Because otherwise you're like, I think it's that almost idea of a veneer or like a finished product. You're like, I don't need to go to class. I've already been in XYZ show. You're like,
no.
Yeah. And so keep going.
You're always learning. Like, I think you're learning on every job. Like, you go into a job and you take away a bunch of stuff from that job, even if it wasn't the best job, even if you didn't love it, like, there's still stuff to learn. And there's stuff to learn just by watching the other people.
Absolutely that.
You're working with some amazing people. I always think this, particularly recently, I've done some jobs and I've gone, I'm going to watch the people that are in this, because there's so much I can learn from them about just the craft in general and about discipline and about every element of performing. And I think you get to an age where it's really refreshing particularly when young kids are coming through, and you can learn from them as well. Yeah. There's this idea that, they're new grads and they're not going to provide anything, but go, no, actually I can learn so much from them.
Technically, they're probably technically better than all of us.
Every single one of them is technically better than I am. Because every single person.
That's not true. Don't say that.
But in all three disciplines, because now there's so much more access to the knowledge that hopefully, fingers crossed, their teachers are now considerably more technically proficient than they were in the past. It's definitely the case when I'm going to drama school, hearing the singing teachers speak and acting teachers, I'm like, that is not how things were delivered at the time. Maybe it was with dance, but like in those elements to be able to go, oh, that is leagues above what I knew. But I wanted to ask you actually, because you mentioned you didn't sort of train at a drama school.
Yeah.
Now there is this, but your life is like heavily dance based in your route into the industry, even though we immediately jumped into some cracking TV roles. Like the fact that you are able to dance and move has been a factor in your career, clearly. That usually coming through that route, there's a lot of stuff around nutrition and body image that sort of comes with it. And I hope you don't mind me asking this question.
Of course not.
But what's your experience with that? And I'll explain the reason I'm asking afterwards, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. Like I say, local dance school, and even down to starting work as a child, as a 12-year-old professionally, when you start making that transition, when your body starts changing shape, not necessarily as a negative, but you're suddenly very aware of it if you're filming, if you're trying on costumes, if you have catering, which was something that I realised quite quickly as a northerner doing television. I was like, what? You mean the food's free?
Yeah.
I mean, that first TV series, I very quickly, put on quite a lot of weight. And they were like, why doesn't your skirt fit anymore? I was like, I don't know.
It must have shrunk.
And then sort of, I had a situation where I was auditioning for something on screen and they're like, oh, but she's a bit younger than you, so can you tape your boobs down a bit, and all that. So that's a lot of things to sort of get your head round. And again, from dance background, you're wearing tightly fitting clothes. I think it's wonderful how the world has changed. I know it still exists to a degree, but there isn't so much pressure to be a certain way, that it is a little bit, that the boundaries are a little bit more blurred. I'm a girl that grew up at a certain time within the industry, within the dance-based industry, that of course there were those times when, looking back, I probably wasn't particularly sensible with my eating, with my choices, but I very quickly realised what I needed as fuel, what I needed to be able to get through this level of, and again, it's that thing of seeing it as, I need this to do this. Thankfully, I enjoy healthy food. I enjoy a varied diet. I was a vegetarian for a long time, just for other reasons. And it's just so wonderful now to be at this age and have a pretty much what I need to do nutritionally to get through, and that's good. But again, certainly as a mother now, and with a little girl who is exploring dance and all of those sides of things, you do see it. And again, it's more of a mental health issue and more of a looking inward. And it's awful that sometimes other voices play a part in that as well. And that, just one thing that one person says can just, flip it on its head. But I think I've got it. And again, it was all sort of through myself. I've had this conversation, I think, with Bobby, and I've had it with others, that I don't know what the situation is now with training and with colleges, how much they put into educating the students when it comes to nutrition, things like that. I think it's so important. Yeah, you're on it? Yeah.
Well, yeah, partially.
I think it's so important. I think it's all part of it. I think within the training system, there should be information on how to do a tax return. I think there should be information on nutrition and what you should, no, not what you should, because everyone's responsible for themselves. But, what is useful, what is not useful, what you should be doing, not be doing. It's all part of, again, looking after the product, which is you. You are the tool that you're using, I think it's massively important.
I think that is partial. You just touched on the drama school thing, and that is partially why I asked you, because I feel like a lot of the issues that tend to come from this are when people are compounded when people go to drama school. And at least in a lot of the stories that we hear, that being in that setting under guidance that maybe that used to happen then, and or maybe just the atmosphere of the students then sort of really changes and brings these things out. So it sort of confirms a suspicion of mine that actually you've sort of escaped that.
Yeah, I always regretted it. So basically, when it was my time to go to college at 16, I auditioned at all the colleges, all the musical theatre colleges. I got into them. I got scholarships back then, but I was in the process of filming a children's television series that had been commissioned for a second series. And back then, it would probably be different now, but all the colleges were like, well, no, you can't possibly go off and do filming because then you wouldn't be available for the college show. So it was very much poo-pooed. So I couldn't turn down this incredible opportunity, and I kept actually reapplying. I still felt that I wanted to go. However, and still sort of regretted it actually for quite a long time that I didn't go, because I wanted to build those relationships, those friendships. I wanted to do that. However, I don't know if my character would have been strong enough. I don't know, the pressure of it. I'm not sure. Things happen for a reason, I guess. But I think as well, being at a college, of course, you're in that environment on a daily basis where you're being held up against your peers. And that is sort of the hardest thing, to not compare yourself to everybody else, to not see that someone is the favourite that you're not, just in one person's eyes. And I think it has to start there, that you're only answerable really to yourself. And there is nobody else that can do what you do. You are unique. You have something to offer. You have a desire to do it. You want to learn. You want to be better. You want to observe other people. But it's so hard to not compare yourself to the people around you, or think to yourself, why does that person like that person more than, I mean, it's human nature, isn't it? Of course it is. But that's the other thing about our profession, is that auditioning is not about the most talented person. It's not about the nicest person. It's not about the most beautiful, skinniest, muscliest, whatever. It's one person's opinion on one day, or a handful of people. And that can be that they just have taken a disliking to you, or you're just not their cup of tea, or, but it is simply their opinion. I cannot sit here and say you do this, this, and this, and that would lead to that job. And I do remember going to one college, who will remain nameless, and when we were doing sort of the audition and the open day, and them sort of bragging to the parents and the prospective students, every single one of our graduates all go into a West End job. You go, no, they don't. You can't say that. That's a lie. You're a liar.
You are straight up lying.
Yes.
How do you?
Because you can't guarantee.
Know that's nonsense.
But you can't guarantee that formula, and things change and styles change. But I'm waffling now. I'm going off on a tangent. But it really is hard to get your head around the fact that the people on the other side of that table are just human beings with the same faults and flaws as you. They're not some gods that, I mean, they do hold power. That is something that you have to get used to, that ultimately there's only so much you can control. You can only go in there, do what you do that day. But other than that, it's just somebody going, yeah, no, maybe. Do they go with, yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Not suggesting it's not harder than that. I'm sure there's a lot more to it than that. They're very skilled. But
you say that, every time I've sat on a panel or helped with reading or whatever, that changed it completely for me, being able to witness that and see those conversations and see them go, yeah, they were fine.
Yeah.
Like they could do it.
It's
cool.
as simple as that.
So which one do you want? I don't mind. Well, I don't mind either. Do you have a preference? And then you're like, well, hold on, let's have a look at their CVs. Oh, they'll probably accept the cover and they won't. Okay, let's offer it that way around.
Yeah.
And you're like,
yeah.
Oh my God, that was the decision.
That was it, yeah.
I'm like, wow.
And all that time you spend when you come out of an audition and going, well, if I could just get some feedback, if I could just know if I did it this way or that way, or if I'd have done this or done it, if I'd worn that colour or put my hair like this. And it ain't that deep.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Rarely.
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As the listeners know, that I've relatively recently become a dad.
Hooray! Was that secret when I said about
No. They all know. But I'm just now being a dad in the industry. I'm really interested to know kind of your experience of becoming a parent in the industry. Like how has that been for you?
Yeah. Again, the industry is changing, and what's an experience for one person is not going to be the same experience for another person. I mean, hats off to everyone that came before me, that has continued to work, that has children, that has just held it together. Being a parent is hard, and it's wonderful and it's beautiful, but it's this new person that you've kind of got to figure out and work around, and we're managing that. And I wanted to go back to work. And still did once having it, because again, people sort of say, oh, well, you say that, but you just wait, and I was like, no, still want to go back, thanks. Yeah, all good.
Confirmed.
It's almost like speaking to people that aren't a baby would be positive.
How strange.
Yeah.
I very, very vividly remember that first moment of leaving the house and standing by the lift and going, oh, I'm me. Oh, okay, I get, this is, yeah. So it's wonderful. And there's definitely things that I have to say no to now. For not obvious reasons, because I know people do still go on tour with kids. People make it work. They make it happen. For me, that's not something that I choose to do, that I would be able to do right now. But no, it's wonderful. And it's so incredible to share some of the experiences with her. I mean, she was held by Emma Thompson when she was a baby. You know, she's been on the Palladium stage when she was 1.
She came to Cyprus.
She came to Cyprus, man. She was a mini cat.
Damn, she's one up me.
So, and again, physically, you never know what's going to happen. You just feel like one of your arms has fallen off after you've had a baby. You're like, what is this? I remember standing in the shower sort of 4 days after having her, and I think they were auditioning for something. They were doing a dance call for something, and my agent rang me, and I was like, I'm just holding myself up in the I don't think it's going to happen today.
It's going to be a no this time.
You go straight to some corner work. No, thank you.
Not yet. And I also distinctly remember being heavily pregnant, auditioning for something, standing and doing a singing audition. And I think it was Jacob Sparrow I've got in my head, but I could be misquoting. The casting director saying, when are you due? And me saying, tomorrow. And him being absolutely horrified at the idea of my waters going, whilst mid-song. He literally went white as a sheep. Do you need a chair or something? I'm not ill. I've just got a baby inside me. So yes, we make it work. We have an incredible childminder where we live who is brilliant and is there at a drop of a hat. We don't have family locally, which is hard, but we find a way to make it work. You navigate everything, and I think actually within this industry you have to be adaptable anyway. You have to be able to go, okay, how are we gonna do this? It's not a 9-to-5 job. But that's actually a positive at times. So, when I'm in a theatre job in the evening, I can still do school pickup. I can still be there in the daytime. It's just bedtime that I miss, So it's swings and roundabouts, but it's all good. Yeah.
Helpful.
Very helpful. Very helpful.
He's plotting out the next few years.
I'm always plotting. So, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything about theatre or the industry or fitness or health or anything at all that you'd like to see get in the bin?
Oh, gosh. Fitness and...
it can be anything. The options.
Perhaps not enough constraints. When it can be anything, maybe it's too hard.
Do you know what I was thinking about the other day?
True.
Do you remember, I don't think it's a thing anymore, so this is me showing my age, but there was a well-known reality TV programme that did the whole no carbs before marbs. I just thought, how can anybody not eat chips? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me.
That phrase has caused so much damage.
Has it?
Because it was so catchy and so prevalent, and people then using it as a tactic to lose weight, going, okay, we've got a holiday coming up, I'll just cut out carbs. Obviously, this is good advice because it was said on...
They've said it on the telly, yeah.
You're like...
It must be true.
It must be true.
But the madness is, you're like, if you do cut out all carbs from your diet, you probably will lose weight. You're right.
And you'll lay down and sleep a lot, and you'll look grey.
You will not function.
But also, if you worked in an office and had a very calm job, like there is a version of that, though quite difficult, that might work. It might work. We wouldn't recommend it.
No, we're not going to give it a try.
There is a world.
As a
can
performer,
you imagine a life without chips?
No,
I don't
I can't.
understand.
I love that we're coming back to the Grimsby chips right
I
at the
know.
start.
The
but
important
it's
part,
just-
though.
I think
the
if there
chips.
was one food that I had to have for the rest of my life, it probably would be chips.
Would it be
It's
chips?
like chippy chips
Yeah.
or just
Yeah.
all chips.
Not fries. Don't
Not
come at me
fries.
with your fries.
Whoa,
No.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
But a solid
Salt
chip.
and vinegar.
Hey, yeah, I want sauces as well, if that's
Which
okay.
sauces?
I'm going to take a mayo and a tomato sauce. If I'm allowed more, I'd take a tartare.
As
Oh.
well.
But you know, like a
tart with
little,
the fish.
just to mix it up. If all I'm
Dip it
having
up,
is
yeah.
chips, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm having salt, I'm having vinegar, maybe a brown sauce occasionally, just on a Sunday.
Yeah.
A barbecue. I think
Really
I'm
mix it
realising
up.
that I quite like
Just
my condiments.
A curry sauce?
Oh.
No, get out.
What?
Not
Are you
okay.
all right?
That's
Are
the
you all
most
right?
London answer. However, I
Gross.
love a
Curry
curry
sauce
sauce
is
with
banging.
chip.
No,
I
it's
also-
actually not a London answer because my other half, who is from Hull, has curry sauce
Curry
and his fish
sauce
and
banging.
chips, and it
Curry
makes
sauce
me
like,
angry.
with chips started off in supposedly
Did it?
started off
Really?
in London and then like moved out.
I mean, it's banging.
I'm not sure about
I
that.
also like it.
You're like,
a
You're going to
chips.
say gravy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Chips, cheese, and gravy.
No,
I feel
No.
like that would be a northern
Yeah.
thing.
it is a very northern thing. But
I've had that in
No.
Grimsby.
You couldn't get gravy
Wow.
with chips in mine.
I've had cheesy chips and gravy in Grimsby, so it's
Did you
definitely
cook it?
But do you do
Yeah,
the
by
cheese
hand.
before the? How does the?
Both.
Okay.
You just
No,
grate
hang on.
cheese.
But the chips.
chips, cheese,
Is the cheese
gravy,
melted?
cheese.
Okay, so it will melt.
I need to layer it. I'm going to layer that.
Okay.
I feel like people are going to listen to this and then just eat chips.
Eat chips.
Which is fine.
Great.
But
I
I
love
think
chips,
just to
goddamn.
caveat that carbs thing, like
Yes.
as a performer, when you do any kind of physical work of any kind or mental work where you need that, like you do need carbs. 'cause
Yeah.
you're,
Yeah.
It's important.
primary
And
source of
also the
energy.
whole no pain, no gain. Nah, you don't have to be in pain. That's just silly. You can have a little dance in your kitchen. And I've definitely gained from that. And I'm not in pain
Yeah.
unless it's a bad music choice.
So no carbs for marbs in the bin.
Yeah.
No pain, no gain. I think that is
God, I'd love to see that go in the bin.
100% put in the bin. If you're causing yourself pain, you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
Okay.
So as a final thing, any advice that you would give to
In
somebody?
life.
Yeah, any advice from
Always
me?
put clothes on.
Yeah.
It's very important.
That might be the
I
most
think-
useful advice we
I don't
have.
know about that.
Unless,
always put clothes on.
I
You
mean,
don't always have to put clothes on.
not
if
at
you're leaving
home.
the house.
If you're leaving,
If you're leaving the, yeah, if you're,
There we
you're
go.
leaving the
there you go.
house.
Yeah, and
Always
you
should
should
do
use
an
to qualify it.
asterisk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're leaving the house, absolutely.
I quite like that. In which case,
That's a great one to finish on.
We'll jump through to one final thing, which is without changing your facial expression of any kind.
Okay. I'm scared.
Bobby and I are going to try and guess whether you have successfully lied, and if so, what we think it is. And listeners, we encourage you to do the same. Bobby,
Join in at home.
Bobby,
Yeah.
do you think that Vicki has lied?
Yes.
Me too. What do you think it is?
The sausages in the pockets.
Yes, 100% agree.
That's the only one that stood out to me. That was like,
Me too.
sausages in the
Real?
pockets.
Was it a real dog?
I've changed my facial expression.
Yeah. Was it a real dog at the time? That's our guess. Tell us, did you manage to successfully lie?
No.
Oh.
I forgot.
Oh.
I've got the memory of a fish.
Oh,
Listen,
I'm impressed.
in which case,
there was
we've,
definitely sausage in my pockets.
we've just disparaged the
Poor dog.
the poor dog. I didn't believe it was real. Fantastic. That's even better because we're rarely aligned with our guests either. So that's great.
Yeah, that's. I really thought it was the sausages in the pockets.
Well, shall we
As soon as you said that, I was like, oh, that's it. I'm going to write that down in my head.
write that down?
Write that down. It's time for a game.
A game?
A game with
Oh,
a
I
game.
thought you were going to ask me to sing.
Oh,
No.
Bobby still needs to sing, and you do the contemporary dance
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't
before
remember
the
what
end.
song I was singing.
No, I can't.
No, neither can I.
Yeah.
Anything will do.
Memorable.
Something.
Right.
Okay, we're going to play a game of this or that. So
This
I'm
or
getting
that,
distracted
okay.
by the song.
Oh, I love games. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
so-
this is good.
Lightning round, 1 minute on the clock.
Right.
Bit like Friends.
I'm staring. There's no blinking going on.
No blinking. Oh, hold on. The microphone is making a weird noise.
Oh, sorry, that's me because I keep jiffling.
It's
It's because I'm so excited to play the
Just
game.
can't wait to play this or that.
Just so excited about this or that. There we go. I think that's better.
Are you ready?
1 minute on the clock. Ready. 3,
I'm stressed.
2, 1.
Eggs or bacon?
Eggs.
White bread or brown bread?
Brown.
The US office or Friends?
Friends.
Cardio or resistance training?
Both. Cardio. Ah,
McDonald's or Burger King?
gross. Both of them.
Singing or acting?
Both. Sorry.
Cypress cats or regular cats?
Cypress cats every time.
Yoga or Pilates?
Yoga.
Family Guy or Love Island?
Neither.
Domino's Pizza or Papa John's?
I hate those places.
Sport or dance?
I'm falling off my chair. A dance.
Alcohol
obviously.
or chocolate?
Oh, both. Alcohol.
Matching socks or mismatching socks?
Mismatching socks because it makes you cool.
Coke or Pepsi?
No.
A place in the sun or a face in the crowd? Game of Thrones or Glee?
I'm exhausted. Glee.
Books or Kindle?
Books.
Clean shaven or beard?
Beard.
Personal chef or personal stylist?
What?
A personal chef.
Personal chef.
Opening night or press night?
I don't know what do you mean?
Opening night or press night?
Oh, I see. Press night.
Sexy
oh,
or
no.
smart?
Oh, sexy.
Shower or bath?
Shower.
Miranda Hillard or Princess Diana?
Princess Diana.
Dogs or
Boom.
babies?
Dogs.
Snakes.
Oh no!
Cold.
Snakes or badgers?
Sticks.
Snakes or
Snakes.
badgers?
Oh, badgers.
Theme park or water park?
Theme park.
Running or walking?
Running.
Director or choreographer?
Director.
I think we've broken it.
Bobby or Steffan?
Both. You're gorgeous.
Well, we won't have beaten any time
I'm
records.
sweating.
Time-wise, that was poor.
I was like,
However-
I didn't know I had to be quick. I didn't get that. You see, you didn't
I didn't
describe the
describe it well
rules.
enough.
Wow.
Really bad. I feel like I've been misled.
I'll take the hit on
Although
that.
you might be the first person who's nearly fallen off their chair
It was
during that.
very, very tense.
It was.
That was one of the funniest ones by a long
Wow.
way.
I absolutely loved it. Which one did you go for with Cypress cats or regular cats?
Oh, Cypress cats.
Cypress cats.
Of
The
course.
hip hop.
You should always do a body ripple in cats.
Okay, cats.
Yeah.
I am not a dance isn't my strong suit, just so you know.
Really?
And you don't look like it. And so when I went, they made me audition for Cats.
They made you.
They made me.
People.
No, yeah, because it was David Grindelwald, and I was
Right.
like, and I rang them, my agent was like, can you just tell them they know I'm not a dancer, right? I'm primarily an actor. They were like, yes, Grindelwald thinks you're perfect for this role in it and all this stuff. And I'm like, I really don't think so, but okay. Went in, had to do the Jellicle Ball in the audition.
Of course
and
you
I was
did.
like- and obviously,
Casual.
it was tragic. And because everybody knows it. Like you go into the audition and everybody already
This one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody already knew the choreo.
Of course they did.
And I was there like, How does everyone already know this dance?
Because it's just in them.
Yeah, they were taught at a
They were
drama school.
born
with it in them,
as
yes.
part cat.
Yeah.
It was passed on.
And I tragically went, well, do you know what? I'm going to do this terribly, and I'm going to do it right in front of them.
Good for you.
So I was there like...
Did you get the job?
I did not get the job.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Own it.
There was no way out. That was the first round. I was like, if it's a first round dance, I'm not going to this, which is usually my way. But in general, let's shift on. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for joining us.
What a
Vicky.
pleasure.
It's been lovely.
It has been a pleasure.
Delight.
And thank you at home or wherever you might be for listening to this.
Yeah, and if you've enjoyed this episode, click those like and subscribe buttons. Find us on Instagram at Fit to Perform West End. As always, I don't know why I really
West
emphasised
End!
that.
He's in
Just
theatre.
happens. Yeah. I don't know if you know, but I'm in theatre, darling. As
how we talk.
always, if you've got... Don't look at me like that. Any questions you want answered, you know what to do. Slide into those DMs.
Oh, he's dancing now as
I'll
well.
be in there.
Singing.
I don't remember. I'll be there. I don't know what that is.
What is that?
I don't know.
Wow.
That's
I didn't see
Michael-
the contemporary
is that
dance
Michael
from you, though.
McDonald?
One more time and we'll get the
You
contemporary
know, I've
dance.
just finished with Jane McDonald.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah.
Okay,
There you go.
cool.
No, there's no.
Thank you again for
I don't
listening.
remember what the song
And
was.
if you like what you've heard,
You might not have after
Questionable.
that.
Yeah.
then we have been the Fit to Perform podcast with our wonderful guest, Vicki Lee Taylor, and your hosts, me, Steffan.
And me, Bobby. And if you didn't like it, we've been Joe Wicks. Peace out.